G'day doll friends, welcome to Rare and Pretty Dolls and another beautiful day in the dollhouse. Today we are joined by our Gooliope repaints. Now this poor Gooliope came to us with not even any arms, so we were very excited to see what we could experiment with, and we gave her some wings instead. So right where her little arm stubs would be, we've given her some gingerbread wings. So this is now gingerbread snaps, and as you can see, we've taken some inspiration for the latest Barbie collab with Mark Ryden and given her these beautiful peppermint striped legs. So we've got a lovely video coming up for you where we show you how you can take your old Gooliope, even one with no arms, and turn her into something magical for Christmas.
Take her hair out and have a really good look at all her freaky flaws. So as we said before, she has these funny little stubby knobs because she has no arms. And then of course her drips are on her legs, which is part of the sculpt, but they're a little bit discolored, but I quite like the corally peach that it's faded into. Now this is our brave donor of the wings, Barbie. We've had her hanging around the store for a little while now, and whilst there's nothing particularly wrong with her, look how amazing these wings would look with Gooliope. So off camera we dyed her hair ginger, just the blonde, and we're about to take off the makeup with the acetone. So here we are just dissolving the face paint and just wiping it away. So we're really lifting that paint off from the plastic. And there we go, it comes right up. Now you're going to want to make sure that you dispose of these cloths that you're using immediately, because acetone of course just dissipates into the air and can make you really sick. Wiping the makeup off the eye has revealed some really nice glitter that's embedded into the vinyl. It looks absolutely magical, I love this. Now on for the lips. The lips are really dark and they're always painted quite thickly and they're a weird shape, so it's always a little bit of a struggle. But we do get there in the end, and look, it's lifting it really nicely. So hopefully we get some nice clean pink lips with not too much effort. Once we've cleared the face of all of the makeup, we'll be sealing with our matte sealant. So we're using Citadel Anti-Shine today. And there's going to be 2, maybe 3 coats of anti-shine before we get started with some pastels. So whilst she's setting, we'll get started on our pastel colours. So today we're using the soft pastels, and we're just sharing some off into our little mixing pot to make our custom colour. Because she has a lot of pink in her tone already, we'd like to counteract that with some neutralising oranges. I don't think we're going to need any green, but if we go with the oranges and we put lots of yellow in there, we'll be able to get her to this beautiful gingerbread tone. So taking one last look at how pink her tone is before we start on the pastels, and then we're going to get right into it. So pressing the powder into the matte sealant that we have here, it's completely dry. I'm regretting not masking off her hair correctly, but I really wanted to make sure that we got that orange all the way up to the hairline. We didn't want to miss anything. Once we had a few layers of pastels followed by sealants, then more pastels and sealant, we got it to a beautiful flesh tone that we wanted to use, and started with the Prisma pencils. I have a rough idea of how I want the makeup to end up in the look, so we're starting to block out some of those colours and see how the makeup's going to evolve for us. We've got this beautiful ginger eye. It's going to be a nice deep molasses brown with lots of white little freckles and some little icing detail. And we're contrasting that whole thing with a nice sharp green eye. Using a lighter colour underneath can help highlight, but also it can act as concealer so that you get a really sharp, true colour on top of this. So we'll be putting down this white, and then we'll be using our sealant again to give us that nice white base before we put any fresh colours on top. Once we seal it in, those colours aren't going to move for us, so then we can be quite ruthless with our colouring in on the top of that nice white base that we put down. So we're just doing some details in the eyes and trying to get an idea for where the shape's going to be at. we're going to be correcting the shape throughout this entire process. Correction is 70% of the creation of a face up for a doll for me. I am always eyeballing it at different angles, adjusting things. It's almost start to finish. We're always sort of looking at that eye, making sure that it's in the space that it needs to be. I'll be layering down different colors of green to get a really three-dimensional look to this green eye. I'm going to be blending through some browns and some yellows in there as well, just to add a lot of interest. They're such big, beautiful eyes, so you really can go nuts when it comes to painting these larger 17-inch dolls. It gives you lots of space to work with, and you can be as imaginative as you like. There was a moment there where I thought I might be doing a peppermint swirl inside the eye, but then I remembered that I wanted to create a really interesting lip for this doll, so I didn't want to overwhelm the design too much. I really want the lips to pull some focus here and really stand out. So we skipped quite a bit of the detail here. That's because my hand was mostly in the way while I was doing the eye, so whilst I did record it, you couldn't see a whole lot, and I thought the back of my hand was a little bit boring for you guys. So for the lipstick base, I'm using a watercolor pencil. You just use a little bit of water and the pencil to get the colors that you want. You can mix them up, and then you just use it like a liquid lipstick, and it gives this beautiful waxy finish. Looks exactly like real lipstick. I love it. Adding more detail to that eye, and I'm really struggling to not add those candy stripes in peppermint white and green to that top eyelid, but I have to remind myself that I'm going to see how this feature lip looks and then decide whether or not we need to go so over the top with the eye. So here we are with our little feature lip. We're going to be doing the peppermint red and white striped lip that I love. I've done this striped lip before on Gooliopes, and they just look so stunning. This of course is the lip that we've seen in the Sweet Screams doll lines for Monster High, so we're already very familiar with it, and we know that it's an absolutely stunning feature for the dolls. So here's our candy stripe legs. Now we created these by first sanding the legs down, and then we base coated them with a Citadel Wraithbone, which is an off-white. Then we've added our stripes in watercolor pencil in red, and now we are enhancing these drips with hot glue. This is a part I'm really nervous about. Hot glue is not the most predictable substance. It's hot, it burns you, and it's being put on a three-dimensional object, so being very careful to just make sure it goes where we want it to go. I have a plan to actually make this look classy and not trashy at all when it's finished. We're coating it with some nail mica in the unicorn dust, and that gives it this really cute magical shine. Then of course we go ahead and we seal it again with matte sealant so that the watercolor pencils stay exactly where we want them to, before sealing it again with Jo Sonja's Special Effects Iridescent paint in pink. So here's our gingerbread wing. It's gingerbread on one side and then glitter on the other, and we're just going to attach some capuchin pearls to make sure that the wings stay in place. Cut out the shape of this wing using the Fairytopia wing as a guide, so we use that as our pattern, and then repainted the pink frame to match our gingerbread theme. So it's all in matte white with fabric paint little gems on it to give us that gingerbread house look. Whilst our wings are drying, we're going to unwind all of Gooliope's curls from her hair. We'll loosen those out and we'll shake them down and see what they look like. Gooliope is looking so much better than when she first came to us. We're really happy with this little project. She's not quite finished yet. I'll be adding some more details to her before she becomes part of a bigger display for our next year's Christmas. So please like and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on any more Gooliope adventures.